in the language of our course, in the framework of our course of perspectives and heuristics, my sense is that the functional thinking enables entrepreneurs to come up with new perspectives and new heuristics on how to solve a particular problem or take a technology and find different applications for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you an example. So one of the biggest consumer packaged companies in the world was developing a new nasal filter against allergy. It's one of the biggest companies. They put enough resources, people, money, and they were still struggling because they could not solve the problem if you stop all allergens, you cannot breathe. If you could breathe, everything goes through. And they try to optimize the materials and so on. When we step aside and said, what function do you need to perform? And it turned out that the function that you need to perform and solution to the problem that you need to perform, how to create a strong vortex that will throw tiny particle toward our mucus. Naturally, when we inhale, we create this vortex, but it's not strong enough for the tiny particles. So we did, as we call, function-oriented search, looking at where else people perform this function. And you usually look at the industry where the life and death for the business or the person to perform this function, because if it's a life and death, you could be rest assured that they would know everything. And we found that in pharmaceutical industries, they cannot throw tiny nanoparticles in the atmosphere because it will create lungs problem and so on. So a small Israeli company have developed a technology that creates additional vortexes that will separate tiny particles in a tower that probably 5 feet or 5 stories tall. And we solved the adaptation problem rather than the invention problem. And the reason why we could do it, not because we're smart or successful, but because we looked at the functions and solve adaptation problem rather than invention. So what entrepreneurs need to do is the same. Look at the technology they have, define the value drivers and the functions, and look where else people need to perform similar functions and apply it there. So once again, I'm very excited that we will be able to introduce this thinking to your course.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sam Kogan, for joining us today and for giving us your insights on functional thinking. We look forward to learning more from you.